Alright, you guys, we're back with round 3 of Edison Format down at Domino City Gaming. To the left, we got the homie Leo, and to the right, we got Sebastian, aka, well, Sebastian. His first name is Thomas, but nonetheless, we got Leo with GBs, and to the right, we got Seabass with amazing Vayu Turbo. And you guys get to see a little more down the line as we continue these games, but Seabass does go ahead and start the game off. He sets one, passes turn. And then Leo goes. See, he's got a deep prison already. Activates Rhoda. Drops a card. And I think if I had to decide this matchup, I think favorable, it's got to be Vayu. Just because it does have a Soroku, and Soroku can just manage to control board presses over the GB. So we see Leo start off. He goes straddles, search out his Prisma. So it's gonna allow for Prisma Test Tiger down the road. It is a Raikou. Attacks into it, mills 3. It does hit a Soroku. So if Seabass does have a Armageddon, he'd be able to draw it, dump, and load up a, that's already 47 damage. So, but sure enough, he's got the Trooper and managed to mill another Soroku. He's already got 3 darks in the graveyard, so you can drop Dark Arm potentially. I think that's one of the scariest things against this type of deck, which is I'm always worried that they have Dark Arm, because for some reason every time I play against them they have it. So, but we do see Leo decides not to activate his face down and pass his turn. He summons a Prisma and gets met with the Bottomless. Sets another back row and passes turn. This is what you don't want to do. You don't want to just leave a Trooper, because then it could potentially just keep milling and milling, loading up the graveyard. He doesn't manage to hit a Vayu, but he's still deck shrinking. Hits for 19. Seabass thinking on what to do. I think he might have a Vayu in hand, that's why. So he's just debating if even setting it or not. So he does set a back row though. And a monster and passes turn. Leo summons Sam Knight, declares an attack. He's got the Mirror Force, but Leo does have the trap stun for it. So Seabass takes 12. Managed to draw a card off Trooper. Special Miss Laquari, so 21. It's pretty good considering, if he does manage to summon a Soroku, he needs to get the actual arm wing in the graveyard to run over this. Sets one, passes turn. Sebastian draws. Seabass debating on what to do. It is a face down Raikou, flips targeting the Laquari. I wonder what Leo's thinking about. He's got the chariot, this bad boy. Damn. My body is a shield. You don't want him to mill anything that would help him out. So, this is interesting. Oh, he does. There you go. Damn. Seabass does have a light dark chaos sorcerer target. I mean, you had to go for that play regardless with the Raikou. You had to get rid of the chariot. Sets one, passes turn. And this is where I talk about where GBs just struggle beating over a monster that's over 2,000, because it's not like they can just summon and beat over it. They have to burn multiple cards. That being like summon a GB with a Test Tiger, or if not, Smashing Ground would be a simple 1-for-1 out, but technically they already lost out on the Laquari, so they went neg 1. Seabass attacks is, it was a deep prison. It's kind of strange because he was hitting with the card Trooper earlier. I'm not sure why he didn't activate that a while ago, but maybe he had other plans for it. Summons the Bestiary, attacks face down. It happens to be a hamster. Specialman's the third Raiko. I wonder if he's gonna tag out. Probably just get the chariot. Specialman E-Quest. Get the chariot back. Help him save a turn. But then again, if he's got like a Kai's for follow-up, it's not gonna look good for Leo. Leo does decide to set 3 and pass turn. Man, this is even with GB setting 3 like that, I feel like this late into the game, just being able to lose out to a random brain control, it would be brutal. So I'm telling you, flip bait out the monster and then still tribute for Kai's. So you have to put your opponent on double chariot, or if not, they lose. Seabad taking a minute to think about his play, but he's a pretty solid player. He knows what he's doing majority of the time with all the decks. I think everybody's kind of fresh. Well, a few of the guys, should I say, are fresh back into Edison format. So Raiko does flip, targeted the E-Quest, and he does have to chariot that. Whoa, he's got to burn his own Torrential. But in this case, he gets value because he gets to banish the Vayu in the graveyard with the arm wing. So this is why he wasn't able to mill any Vayus with the card trooper. He just unfortunately managed to draw too many. Especially with the arm wings attacking for 23. And he takes the 23. It's got to be under 2,000. Took in double the trooper, arm wing, and 300 off the hamster. So yeah, if he's not able to answer this attack, it's over. Attack for game, and he managed to draw the deep prison, but he does have the deck Devi. Chains with the deck Devi. It's MST and Gorse. Dang, alright, so he does manage to actually hit one off of the deck Devi. Face down being called haunted. Specialman's E-Quest. Gonna go ahead for 15. Oh, he does have his own Gorse though. Damn, what would you do here? Murmillo or... I think Murmillo would be the only best play here. Oh, instead he does decide to go Laquari. He passes turn. Switches to token attack mode. And summons another Vayu. He attacks the Gars. Did have the Book of Moon, so now we're just thinking. Oh, he set the one back row and pass turn. And he managed to hit the Retiari. He's got the heavy for bottomless. The token's still in attack mode, so he's got to answer an E-Quest of Vayu and the Gorse face down. And we know he has a Gorse in hand, so yeah, at this point you have to answer too many things on board, and I'm trying to think what would be the best play. If you hit the E-Quest, or what should I say, the token brought up by the E-Quest, there's not many plays you can do after that. I mean, you're gonna kill the Vayu, but the Vayu then you have to respect it because he has another Sirocco in the graveyard. So I think it's a lose-lose situation right now, the way that Leo's standing. But he's gonna do the initial play he should have probably done last time, which is Specialman. The Murmillo attacks, takes damage, and just on board that's game because he can run over the Vayu with the Murmillo and hit for 1600 directly, and that should be game. So yeah, attack, and then he attacks for gain with the token. So yeah, I think I would have gone with Specialman Murmillo the turn that Gorz was summoned, just because it's potentially one less 1500 or lower monster that you can draw, so it doesn't get hit by deck heavy. I know you want to save it for something bigger, but essentially you're able to get rid of the Gorz and still have I'm not saying a follow-up, but potentially have a follow-up with a monster at over 20, over 1500. I think at that time it might have just been another Prisma, Laquari Darius, so Sam, yeah, he did have plenty out, so it's just unfortunate. But as far as what they're siding, it's kind of tricky, right? Because if you're playing GBs, the thing you would want to side into is a handful of cards, right? Ideally, just for Vayu Turbo. One of the cards that I like to side is Soroku myself. Just because somebody Soroku can run over a Soroku and they're just pump it up, attack. Or another card that you can potentially try doing is, not saying no matter crossout, but you might want to do your third chariot just because it can out the Raikou, considering he is playing the Raikou. But I also know if Seabass is a solid player, he should be siding a few of those out right now as it is. He'd probably side out one Hamster and one Raikou, just so it can limit the chance that he can attack the face down, right? Because you don't want to play into chariot neither, so the goal is to summon all your big monsters and just beat over the GBs. Yeah, they're taking quite some time though, debating on what to side, what not to side. And that's the thing about the Vayu matchup, which is if you're playing GBs, there's not one card that just outs it, right? There's not one card you can just play and be like, oh yeah, with this one card I win. Like if you were playing Vayu versus Frogs, most likely if you play deck Devi into that deck, you're more likely going to win. But when you actually have to think and strategize of what cards would work for your opponent and what cards won't work, it gets tricky. And we see Seabass even then, like he's taking 3 cards out, putting 3 cards back in. Both of these gentlemen are still very undecisive just because of the fact that both of these matchups can vary, meaning that for GBs they can potentially go trap stun and go off and kill you, or with the Vayu matchup they can go deck Devi and know your hand, and if you happen to draw into the Test Tigers, they get more value, and you still have to answer a Soroku that's 2000. So we'll see how they start off game 3, or should I say game 2. But off the top, I did manage to see that he did have the Consecrated Light, and that's a card that I don't know how I feel about it, just because if my opponent is, he hits him with the heavy though, and it had a solemn, oh my goodness, special summon Cyber Dragon, and once again now it's answer my 2100 beater. He sets 1 and activate Ancient Forest. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with this, is if any monster attacks, destroy it at the end of the battle phase. So GB gets around that card because they attack and they tag out, so the same monster that attacked is not on the field. So good card to play. He does summon Prisma, Seabass chains Bottomless, and now he's debating whether to not to activate his face down. He chains Torrential, and it does happen to be a Raikou face down, so he passes turn. It's a strong start for both of these gentlemen. I think I see Leo's hand is just not looking that great. Well, it's solid because he got a Consecrated Light and a GB. But we got Seabass summoning Dark Grapher, discarding Vayu, debating on what else to send. He does decide to send Plague, just because he's still under that Ancient Forest. If you can't really out it, his goal might be just to go Brionic, return to the hand, and control the game from there. And once again, there's only 2 outs that could potentially have. Summons the Retiari, retributes the Test Tiger to Specialman another GB. And I was gonna say the only out he would have had at the time was a hard drawn Laquire. He attacks into Mirror Force. Seabass draws for turn. Sets one, passes turn. So for some reason these Raikos are still coming in clutch. Oh yeah, and it does happen to be a hamster, so tags out. At this time I think the best play would just be go to yeah, he ends up going into red TR targeting the Vayu. I don't know how I feel about that because then he does have the Plague Spreader for follow-up. Plague Spreader into the Vayu. Goes into Ancient Forest, flips, Raikou destroys it. And yeah, it's not looking good. That's also, I think, a small misplay, which I did see a Soroku in Sebastian's hand or Seabass, so he could have returned the Soroku and then milled by destroying the Ancient Forest. So at least he has the Soroku for later, because I don't see him tributing anytime soon to kill, you know. But he does make a Stardust, pass his turn. Leo draws, sets one. Normal summons a card trooper, mills 3, hits nothing, but attacks 19. And attacks with Stardust for another 25. She's not looking good. This GB has been an uphill battle. I feel bad for Leo. He sets 2 and passes turn. 1, 2, 3, and mills nothing. Attacks with Stardust, and it's a Consecrated Light, and attacks for 19. Plays Shrink just to save his life. Oh my goodness, it's yeah. I'm telling you, it's messed up because you really think about it. Consecrated Light versus a deck that you already see your opponent's been playing Raikos. You ideally wouldn't have cited it. That's just me being myself. Because then it just ended up being a dead card. Leo attacks over the card trooper, and now he's just thinking. Yeah, if the face down's another Raikou, it's just game over. And he just leaves the Laquarian face up attack and passes turn. And yeah, that's game. He did have a Raikou to destroy it, so sheesh. What do you guys think? For those of you guys that play GB, do you guys have any suggestions, any ideas, or was it well played, or it was just unfortunate card to draws? Nonetheless, GG's. Good luck to both these gentlemen. We got Leo and we got Seabass. On to the next one. It's out.
It feels bad in his deck though. Well, I had Raikou, that's the thing.